Some cities grow naturally. And then there is New York, a city built on a swamp, exposed to the Atlantic, vulnerable to fire, disease, crime, collapse, and financial ruin, yet somehow destined to dominate the modern world. At multiple points in history, New York should have failed. It almost did. But instead, it became the most powerful urban experiment humanity has ever attempted. This is not the story of skyscrapers and lights. This is the story of risk, obsession, reinvention, and why New York never stops becoming something else. Stay with this story because every chapter reveals why this city refuses to die. Long before Wall Street, Broadway, or Times Square, this land belonged to the Lenape people. They understood the rivers, the tides, the islands. Manhattan was not a city, it was a network of paths, hunting grounds, and seasonal settlements. When the Dutch arrived in the early 17th century, they did not see a civilization. They saw potential. In 1626, Manhattan was claimed for goods worth roughly 60 guilders. The story would later be simplified into a myth. Manhattan was bought for $24, but the reality was more complex. Two worlds misunderstanding each other, trading with completely different concepts of ownership. New York began not as a city, but as a misunderstanding. New Amsterdam was never orderly. It was chaotic, multilingual, and disobedient. Dutch, English, Africans, Jews, Germans, all lived together in a way unheard of in Europe at the time. Religious tolerance wasn't ideological, it was practical. Too many people, too many beliefs, too much money at stake. When the English took control and renamed it New York, they inherited something unusual, a city that resisted authority by default. That resistance never disappeared. Early New York burned repeatedly. Epidemics swept through overcrowded streets. Yellow fever, cholera, and smallpox killed thousands. At several moments in the 18th and early 19th centuries, elites considered abandoning the city altogether. It was dirty, dangerous, unmanageable, but New York had one advantage no rival could match: its harbor, deep, wide, and connected to the continent's interior. Everything else could be rebuilt. In 1825, the Erie Canal opened. Suddenly, New York was connected directly to the agricultural heart of North America. Grain, timber, goods, people all flowed through New York. This single engineering project transformed the city from a regional port into the economic capital of an emerging superpower. Other cities never caught up. They couldn't. New York was not built by a single person. It was built by millions who arrived with nothing and nowhere else to go. Irish fleeing famine, Italians escaping poverty, Eastern European Jews running from persecution. Later, migrants from the Caribbean, Latin America, and Asia. Ellis Island processed over 12 million immigrants. Most stayed. New York did not assimilate them. They reshaped it. Language, food, music, labor, politics, all transformed. This diversity did not dilute the city. It powered it. By the late 19th century, New York faced a physical limit. There was no more space, so it did something radical. It went up. Steel frame construction, elevators, and financial speculation produced a skyline unlike anything the world had seen. Skyscrapers were not just buildings, they were statements. Each one declared ambition, confidence, and competition. The city became vertical, and so did its mindset. New York's rise was inseparable from finance. Wall Street became the nerve center of global capitalism. Booms followed busts. Fortunes appeared overnight and vanished just as fast. The panic of 1907, the crash of 1929, the Great Depression. Each time, New York was declared finished. Each time, it returned, more powerful than before. Because New York does not fear failure, it absorbs it. The city's growth came at a cost. Political machines ruled neighborhoods. Organized crime thrived. Police corruption flourished. In the 1970s, New York nearly collapsed. The city was bankrupt. Crime was rampant. Entire districts were abandoned. Headlines declared the end. Ford to city. Drop dead. But once again, New York refused to disappear. What followed was not a miracle, it was a reinvention. Policing changed, investment returned. Neighborhoods transformed, sometimes painfully, sometimes controversially. By the late 20th century, New York reemerged as a global capital of culture, finance, media, and art. Fashion, film, publishing, advertising. If an idea mattered, it passed through New York. In 2001, the city was wounded in a way no fire or bankruptcy ever managed. The attacks on September 11th changed New York forever. But they also revealed something essential. This city, built by outsiders and survivors, understood loss. And it understood rebuilding. Ground Zero did not remain a void. It became memory, resilience, and defiance in stone and steel. New York is not defined by its buildings. It is defined by momentum. People arrive believing it will break them. Some are right. Others discover something unexpected. A place that rewards obsession, endurance, and reinvention. New York does not promise happiness. It promises possibility. And that has always been enough. New York should not exist. Geography, disease, fire, crime, and history all conspired against it. Yet it survived. Not because it was protected, but because it changed faster than its problems. If this story made you see New York differently, subscribe to 5 Minutes of Culture. Because next time, we explore another place that defied history and became something no one planned.